Hey class, we're looking at job skill 15-6, our final job skill for chapter 15. Remember, this is the same form 75, that we've been using for job skill 15.4 and 15.5. We were just going to follow it step by step as we go through this. This form should be fairly full at this point. Once you get to this job skill, you should have all the information from 15.4 filled out, as well as all the information for each patient filled out. And then you're going to start this job skill. So now all we're doing is our math or accounting for this. It says to total column A, add previous page total and enter in month to figure. So if I've already put some fake numbers, these are fake numbers, do not copy these. So all you're going to be doing is adding up all your charges, put it here, and total for this page. Your previous page, you got that number off 15.4, and then you would add those two numbers together. So 5 plus 5 would equal 10. That's how you're going to do it. You're going to do that for each one of these, for A, B1, B2, C, and D. All you're going to do is add all your payments together, enter the amount here, then you've got your previous amount that you got in 15.4, then you'll total, add those together, so forth and so on. That's how you're going to do all of those. It says to transfer today's day sheet totals as directed in the proof of posting. So we're going to look for that section. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see, because I know it gets kind of hard to see this form. So proof of posting, and then it's telling you to follow the instructions in there. If the total does not equal column C, recalculate and look for errors. So column D total, you would put column D total in here. You would add column A, so just to kind of show you real quick. So mine's not going to add up because these are fake numbers, but my column D number is 50. And then I would add column A, which is 10. I'm just going to enter that here. And then the subtotal would be 60. And then it's telling me to minus column B1 and B2. So I would minus 50. And that would equal 10. Now, if my number 10 did not match my total number for C, that means I've done something wrong. C must equal column C. All it is doing is it's taking your payments, your adjustments, your charges, your payments, adjustments, balances, and your previous balances. You're totaling them out down here, and it's making sure that they all equal what they're supposed to equal, which is the current balances for the patients. If for some reason yours does not equal to column C, that means you've done something wrong, and you need to go back and see what you've done. Your accounts receivable control. Just real quick, a note. If you did not do 15.5 correctly, if you did not enter the information for each patient correctly, you don't enter the charges correctly, the payments, the balances, then you're not going to total out correctly. So that's why it's very, very important that 15.4 and 15.5, that you've done everything correctly, because if you haven't, then you're not going to equal out. The next section says enter figures from the proof of posting section to add to accounts receivable control section as indicated in add or subtract. So that is literally just telling you the accounts receivable proof and the accounts receivable control. And you're just going to do the math that it tells you to do there. Make sure that everything equals out. Enter the month to date figures in the accounts receivable proof. So month to date and the accounts receivable proof. You would enter all those numbers there. Then we've got, compare the dollar amount in the total accounts receivable. So total accounts receivable, you're going to compare that to the accounts receivable proof. So you've got accounts receivable control, total accounts receivable. Then you've got the accounts receivable proof, the total accounts receivable. You're going to compare those numbers together. So just make sure that everything looks good there, and that if it doesn't match, there's something that you've done incorrectly. It also lets you know, if not, follow instructions on common posting problems to locate your error. That's going to be found in the book. So you can go through those step-by-step common errors that you make and make sure that you follow those. If you're still stuck, you can email me. Add all cash received in the record of deposits. So I'm just going to scroll over to there. So all you're doing here is you've got cash. and you're totaling that cash out. So we got total cash. And then the next thing you'll do is you'll have your checks. You'll total out your checks down here. So these are just fake numbers, but let's say that that's correct. And then what you'll do is add your total cash with your total checks, and then you're going to have your total deposit. So your total cash and checks would be $350 on this example, and that's what you would do here. So all you're doing, once again, is simple math, adding all your cash payments and totaling them out and putting them down here, adding all your check payments, total them out and put them down here. We do this on a daily basis at an office. This is not unusual. We call this end of day reconciliation. This is something that all managers put in place for their front office staff to perform. The reason being is because it makes sure that the cash that we have on hand matches what we've inputted that day for those patients. Also, any checks that we have inputted it in the EMR for that patient, and we make sure that it matches our check log. And then, of course, in today's world, which I know we don't really have it on here, but is the credit card machine. We do a log from our credit card machine. We print it out. We make sure that the total amount matches what we have in our EMR for the total amount received for that patient that day, or for the patients that day. If for some reason it's off and we have more on the machine than we do the EMR, that means we did not post something in a patient's account. So we would have to go back and go through every single payment and make sure it's done correctly. If there's too much in the EMR and not enough in the credit card log or the cash log, that means that we've accepted cash, we've posted a payment in the EMR, like over here. You posted that payment, but you actually never received that payment, is what you're saying. And that can be a big issue, especially when we're dealing with cash, because that means that you're saying that the patient paid $25, but you've lost that $25. So that's why these logs are so important. Now to go back to the job skill, it says to record all deposits, add all checks received. We did that. We did number 12. Balance cash on hand by following the steps listed in the cash control, and we will just show you how to do that. So the beginning cash on hand, we learned in Job Skill 15.4, I think it was $50. Today, what we would do is we'd go down to our total that we have of cash on hand. We've got $150, so we would put that amount in here. And then after we do that, we have a total. So 150 plus 50 is 200. And if you have deposited anything, so if you deposited any cash into your actual bank account, so it's no longer cash on hand, then what you would do is you would take that deposit out. So let's say that you deposited 150 of it. Then you would be back to the 50 you started with. So closing cash on hand would be 50. Now that just depends on if you actually deposited the money or not. If you get stuck on the cash control, let me know. If you get stuck on any of this, just email me and let me know. But make sure that you go through the book and you look at those common posting problems to try to locate your error before you email me. Job Skill 15.4, 15.5, and 15.6. It's very, very important, because if you make one little mistake on any of those job skills, it's going to add up to a really big mistake once you get to 15.6. So make sure that when you're referencing these and you're doing every little payment, that every amount matches. If you have any issues, let me know. Thank you.